Good afternoon and welcome to the state. Thank you for choosing us. Show is sponsored by Christian Service University. Christian Service University is located in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. I am 𝐖𝐓𝐕 I'll take a quick break and I'll be back with the details. Stay with me.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA, MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825 or 0244 596603 or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Sorry, not sure.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Get ready for a transformational morning experience.
Sorena Shrine is here to build our spirituality, mental and physical well-being.
Through positive, inspiring actions and stories.
We bring you exciting activities and conversations that develop us as a people and as a nation.
We take a look at the trending issues in Ghana and the rest of the world.
And we also review the impacting stories from our local newspapers.
Every morning, we bring you stories of hope, change, and renewal.
We empower you through the Word of God and provoke you to live the purposeful life destined for you.
Join us, Anita Kwaku
and the Reverend 𝐖𝐓𝐕 𝐊𝐚𝐬𝐴𝐷, Monday to Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we take you on an inspiring journey, live and exclusively on WTV.
You may also join us on Facebook at WTV Ghana and on YouTube at Wesleyan TV Ghana.
Sorry, not Shrine.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Sorena Shrine is brought to you by
Danwell Insurance, Multi-Credit Savings and Loan,
and the Methodist University Ghana.
Welcome back. Let us do W Briefs. On W Briefs, what we do is to give you an executive summary of the topic for discussion for the day. So many labor agitations lately, particularly on our university campuses. These agitations has even caused the University of Ghana in particular to postpone the start of the next academic year. Another labor union has joined the fray. This time around, the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana. From today, they have called an indefinite strike nationwide. What is happening at the labor front? Some labor experts are worried. They are concerned that there could be 20 more unions calling strike in the next few months or days. There are some who are saying that the employers who are supposed to engage them, the ministers of state, are not there to engage them. Maybe they are there doing political campaign, door to door, room to room, campaigning, whereas the economic conditions is telling on the workers. This afternoon on the state, we are going to interrogate the underlying causes and see the remedies for these labor actions. I'll take a quick break and I'll be back to introduce my guests. Stay with me. welcome back. You are on the state. On the state this afternoon, we are looking at the labor actions that are all over the place, and I believe you've heard about them and you are concerned. We're going to interrogate the underlying causes and see the remedies or the way forward. The state is sponsored by Christian Service University, and Christian Service University is an evangelical liberal arts institution established 50 years ago to train men and women with ethical values for transformational leadership in Africa. Admissions for 2024-2025 academic year is in progress for undergraduate and postgraduate programs. CSU offers dynamic academic and industry-driven programs in nursing, midwifery, business administration, communication, planning, and computer science. For more information, please contact our admissions relations officers on 024-62-75375, 024-0154-825, or 024-459-6603. Or visit our website on www.csuc.edu.gh. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa. CSU, the university of choice. So the labor actions, particularly on our university campuses, that is the conversation we are having. And I implore you to follow. So we are joined by a labor expert online, and then we also have a guest in the studio who is the chairman for the Accra Technical University chapter of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, is Dominic Ampa. Dominic, welcome to the state.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us in the studio. We will have on the line Mr. 𝐼𝐓𝐕 𝐊𝐚𝐬𝐿. 𝐼𝐓𝐕 𝐊𝐚𝐬𝐿 is a labor expert and consultant. He is indeed an authority on labor issues in the country. Sir, welcome to the state.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good to have you. So just before I come to you, sir, let me start with Dominic. Dominic, who has called a strike. I mean, he and his people who have called a strike. As your preliminary comments, Dominic, what is the response like? Your people, what you are gathering nationwide, is your strike on and very, should I say, bitey?
Oh, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to, interrogate or interview me on this strike action. Yeah, it's true that we are on strike. For a month ago, we had a agreement with the government on some revised allowances. That is fuel and its allied allowances. That we have fuel, off-campus vehicle maintenance allowance, utility, or stroke sanitation, and others. In fact, at the university, we senior members there are in two categories. Category 1 is the teaching, and the category 2, non-teaching. These allowances is a common allowances affect all the eligible staff of the senior members, teaching and non-teaching. Some years past, when one of the union go to represent us to bargain for those allowances, when it is successful, government sign and they also sign, automatically it affects us with the administrators. And right now, the government has made us that we made it in such a way that we have separate CBA, that's bargaining certificate, so that if the teachers go and fight for their own, we also have to go and fight for our own. We have agreed everything all right. We have signed all the necessary listen, the item on the addendum. We have signed everything. And it is up to a government to honor his part. These our counterparts have received these common allowances even up to date.
When you say your counterparts, who are you referring to?
The teaching
side.
They have received it up to date. And we, the non-teaching, as at now, as I'm speaking, it's only two that reflected in this September after the validation of the payroll. And so we are saying that we have waited for long. And the government is taking us, you know, how do I put it? It's taking it for granted. And for that matter, I think we need to rise up. So we serve a strike notice to NLC and other stakeholders.
National Labour Commission.
National Labour Commission. And other government agencies who are involved. We copy the Minister of Education, fair wages, Minister of Finance, and all the other stakeholders. Up to now, only 2 has reflected.
So the strike is on.
The strike is on.
Accra Technical University, where are your colleagues? Are they at or they are home? No work today.
They've gone home. They didn't come. They couldn't come right. Sorry.
They couldn't come to. So what your group? What do you do? It means the library is not working. It's not. What? Who are the people?
Academic affairs, finance, registry, audit, PRO office, HR, and others. The registrars in the various faculties also, they are on strike, because if they are on strike, how do you work? How do you manage the students?
The students.
The student records and other things. How do you do it?
So how about your colleagues in Koforidua, in Takoradi?
They are on strike.
The same situation. Everybody is on strike.
Yes.
Great. But Mr. Austin Game, let me come to you briefly. Say these concerns, I'm sure, are not new to you from where you sit and your experience managing this back in the day when you were at one point in time at the Labour and Employment Ministries. I think as a deputy minister or substantive minister or so. As your preliminary comments, sir, how the numerous agitations or labor actions that we've had on our campuses specifically, how are you taking it this time around? Mr. Game?
After you, my friend who is with you, Dominic, and your cherished viewers. Well, you know, you are a Christian institution, and the Bible is very clear that for lack of knowledge, my people perish. That seems to be the bane of Ghana and the society in general. We have been in existence for 67 years or so now, but I can confidently say that it appears we are backward, we are back to the same 67 years, as if we are now about to begin kindergarten. That's our attitude and behavior, and for that matter, culminating in lack of knowledge of even how to treat one another. I say so because the labor law is very clear, but even if you put that aside, best practices and the general, ethics of how to live and work between and among ourselves appears to be completely lacking. And therefore, we treat one another, and we are always very suspicious, and we've, and it's not helping anybody. I presume positively that with all these years, particularly this Fourth Republic, about 30-something years now, we should have learned enough to be able to manage these basic and secondary things. But it appears we are not there. And it's reflecting in our economic management. It's reflecting in the level of intolerance and even our spirituality. So I think that it should be of concern to all of us. And I hope and pray that during the course of our conversation, we should be able to find some common grounds on which we can base, our future on as a people. But for now, I can say that maybe some of us who were born in Gold Coast and are living with you Ghanaians are seeing something different than how you people see yourselves.
Yes, Mr. Game, it brings to mind my asking you that what is it a matter of priority? What really is it? Because just like Dominic mentioned, the teaching staff have no problem with this allowances being paid them or this part of the CBA being honored. How come that the administrative staff are exempt from the payment? From where you sit, is it always that they take a particular group and place them above another, or they roll out the agreement in its entirety?
That's precisely what I was trying to talk about. For lack of knowledge, my people perish. Those who are supposed to be responsible for ensuring that the processes are done evenly don't even know what it takes to reference. Article 24, subsection 1 and 2 will tell you that we are not supposed to discriminate, therefore pay people and leave others. Article also, section 68 of the Labor Act is very clear, but we lifted it from Article 24 and planted it into the Labor Act. So in effect, this is discrimination, and you are trying to divide and rule the people. You are trying to make others look subservient to the others. That is precisely what the employer, who is called government, is attempting to do. Either they don't know, or they are pretending they don't know, or whatever it is. But let me be very clear. It's just that people don't have the skill to manage people's side of business and resources, and how to ensure that there is equity. Because they don't need to be on strike. Particularly so when if they were to be preparing to go and negotiate, and the employer is not showing interest and they want to go on strike, that is when Labour Commission can invite both of them and help them out. But you have voluntarily signed an agreement into a collective agreement. And when you sign an agreement called collective agreement, you have no choice than to budget for it. And if you are wise and you are unable to meet the obligations under the agreement, which can happen for some reasons, invite the social partners who are your stakeholders and engage them, have a conversation, and let them understand the reasoning behind what the action you are taking. I don't think they have invited them, sat with them, engaged them, and have a conversation with them. It's a sign of disrespect. And they are not just two people. These are workers who are family heads and who depend on this income because they have also budgeted for it. And you are not engaging them, and they are seeing them going around the country. We assume there is no money, and yet we are spending huge sums of money in other areas. What do you expect them to do?
Definitely, they will take an action because they need to. So, Mr. Game, I'll be with you shortly. I'll come back to the studio and then engage Dominic. So, Dominic, you see, the labor aspect has really trumpeted your position. You know that your employer has not treated you fairly. From what he's been in that space for so many decades, so he knows what he's talking about. Let me ask you, your group. So, how many people are involved in this action? How many people have been affected? But that I mean, in nationwide, how many staff have been affected? Then when you tell me roughly an estimate of the number of you who are on strike, and how much is involved that they owe you?
Oh, for this one, Thank you very much. With regards to the number, in fact, I cannot give you the the accurate number, but we are almost 1,000 because the whole nation are administrators. Yes.
Over 1,000, over 1,000 of you.
Almost 1,000, either 1,000 or over. So we are hovering around that that number. Please, can you come up with the
yes, I asked that how much is involved, that because Mr. 𝐷𝐸𝐕 mentioned that these are family people, these are people, so there is the economic effect that is having on you. So what is the quantum? Have you done the calculation?
This one actually, to me, I would say it's not any. The difference is not much. It's a revised allowance. So the difference, some of them the difference are 90, some of them the difference are 100, some of them, it's nothing. It's not a new item we are fighting for. It is an item already on the payroll. The item already on the payroll, and it has been revised. Do you understand? We said there was in an agreement, a previous agreement, that when the fuel, when the fuel the prices is revised, we use the 𝐴𝐓𝐕 price, that the gold 𝐴𝐓𝐕 price, to actually also to revise our own, and it is biannual. Do you get it? So it has done. It is not as and when the fuel is increasing is adjusted. No, it's biannual.
So the calculation is there.
Good. So in this case, if it has been revised, and you are paying our counterparts, why are you waiting for us? And we're delaying it. You see, the problem that that's meted to us with as administration is that we don't go on strike. That's one thing, is that we don't go on strike, just as the other union do. We don't go, because if we go on strike, sometimes the impact is too much. Do you see it? So, and because of that, I don't know whether the government has taken it for granted and is doing that, because we are all senior members. Teaching, and we have doctors, we have accountants, we have lawyers, we have engineers in administration. Do you understand? We have all these people there. Just our colleagues are also, we have PhD people there in administration who are working. And my counterpart PhD is lecturing. You are paid that person, and you don't want to pay us. You don't want to pay. Why? It's why it's a serious, I don't know whether it's a disrespect to your group.
So I am tempted to ask that you have mentioned the categories of people who comprise your group, who might, in the University of Ghana, for instance, it has crippled the administrative structure, such that they had to postpone reopening. Are we seeing that in your case?
It's going to happen the same way. If government pays us, right? If it pays us, find a means of paying us, fine. But if not, it's going to happen the same way.
The same way it's happening. I want you to help our viewers to know. So now, when you go, those who sweep, no sweeping.
You see, we are managers. Do you understand? And those people are under us. You give them instruction to work. So if you don't give them, what would they do? They can't work.
So in a typical technical university environment, mention some of the areas. You said audits, so it means we can't get
we have a registry.
That is where the students.
And the registry, we have academic affairs, we have general service, we have PRO is also linked to a registry. We have what do you call it? So others. And even those registrars in the various faculties, they are under a registry. And moving away from registry, we have finance, we have audit, we have works, we have legal, plenty. This is it. So academic affairs, for instance, they work on directly on admission and those things. Finance, audit work on the monetary issues. Registry also, they do with the writing and all those things. So if they don't do, where would the university stand?
Great. So the impact is great.
It's very great.
It's great.
It's very great. The government should not only look at the teaching. The teaching, if you come and think for you to teach another, how will you teach? How will you teach? When you teach, we don't validate we don't validate you. How your pay? How will you be? Your pay slip. How will you be paid? So all these things are there, and even your marking, your script and other things that you bring for vetting and other things. If we don't do it, how will you get it? It is going to bite everyone. So that for a common allowance, I think it should not bring about struggling and all those things that we shouldn't struggle to get. Once you give it to those, it should automatically reflect to the others who are eligible.
Qualified
Yes.
to it, they are entitled to it,
Yeah,
so
that's
it must
very
be
good.
given to
Yeah.
it must be given to them.
Yeah.
So viewers, you are still on the state. If you are joining us, we are looking at the labor actions that are all over the place, particularly in our universities and then on our tertiary campuses. And then we've been speaking to you just heard Dominic Ampa, who is with the Accra Technical University chapter of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana. We're also joined on the line by Austin Game, who is a labor expert and consultant. And we are really digging into the issue, the underlying causes of this labor action, because it has a toll on us. Your children, when they go to school, the administrative setup to teach them are not there. And if you are hearing what is happening on University of Ghana campus, they have to postpone the start of academic. And Dominic is saying that they are not too far from that if government does not heed. And Austin Game has been saying that he doesn't really get it because government should know by now. We are not learning. I will come to you quickly, Mr. Game. Government is not being proactive. It has not done all those things. But to play the devil's advocate, the employer would also be looking at cost and budget constraints, and they will be asking about efficiency and productivity. Are all these things considered at the table when you're having the conversation or negotiation?
Thank you. It's normal. It's normal. Normal in the sense that again, let me refer you to the proper book, the scripture. It says you have to count the cost of anything you want to do. I'm sure they counted the cost when the union made a proposal for these allowances. They counted it and found it to be something they can accommodate. And they accepted it and voluntarily signed onto it. Nobody put gun on the head of the employer to sign it. And they have been paying it. Like Dominic said, it's a reviewable allowance. So they reviewed it again because of changes over the period. And it's not even, it's not a regular thing per se. They change it annually when they come to do a review. And so they budgeted for it. It is presumed that this was even carried over to Parliament. It is presumed that it was approved in Parliament. Again, it is presumed that they've been honoring it already. So the difference, as he's speaking about now, some bodies, maybe about 150 cities, maybe the cumulative effect on it, the total for the 1,000, let's say everybody is even entitled to 100 cities. So it's 100,000, maybe about that. It may not even reach. So clearly, it is the fear is that it appears it's the same thing that is being asked elsewhere too, elsewhere in the country, in the public service. So they fear that maybe if they grant it to this other group, this other group may come after them and so forth and so on. But you budgeted for it. That is the positive assumption. If you didn't budget for it, the window is that they are human beings. Call them. Call Dominic and his team. Can I meet you? Then you engage them and tell them, look, I've been honoring this. I still want to honor it. I don't have the money right now. And I have paid these other people, not because I disrespect you, but because of certain circumstances beyond my control. So I have a payment plan. I may pay you, I will stagger it like this. That is what we call stakeholder engagement. That's what you want to call inclusion. But they are going about, they are busy. Right now, even if you want some of them, you may not get them. They are busy in the bush campaigning. So obviously, there are people who feel that they don't care about them.
They don't care.
All right, so we will not work. When you've heard it, you return from the bush, we meet. When we finish, you go back.
You go back.
That's the whole thing.
Right. Dominic, let me ask you, Mr. Game mentioned, so since you released the statement and you made your intentions known, have you heard from government? Have you heard from the employer? Have they reached out to you?
At the moment, I don't know. We've not heard anything. In ATU, we have not heard anything.
You've not heard anything?
Yeah.
But okay, so we assume that at the national level, once your executive have not communicated to you...
They've not communicated. We've not heard anything.
So like he was saying, your employer is supposed to reach out. He was my lecturer at GIMPA. He taught me labor. He used one word, conversation. Always be at the table and have conversation. So you are telling us the government has not reached out to you yet on a discussion to see the way forward. But your timing, some will say that because it's getting to election year, you want to capitalize on it to strangulate government.
Oh, it's far from that. We are not. It's not because of the election, how it is closed, and we are doing that. No. They're supposed to have given it to us a long time. We're waiting. We're waiting to get it around June, July, thereabout. So it traveled to August, and then they say, okay, for August, I know we are going to get it. August, it came, after the validation, there was nothing like that. And then, so we're still waiting. So we gave the government a notice that if by September, we don't see these revised allowances on our pay slip after the validation of the payroll, we are going to strike. We give them the intention. Yes. So it's not because of election. No. It's far away from that. It's not because of the election. No.
Okay.
There's something we've negotiated, the government have signed and everything. We signed the agreement and all that. So it's not because of the politics. No.
It's not.
It's
far from that. Far from that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Gambe, by way of educating the public, when strike travels a long haul, and the labor law and the what is usually the remedy or the way out, we are not looking at it yet, but I'm trying to foresee, since they've not heard from the employer yet, it goes to over the weekend, we come from weekend and they still haven't heard from government. How long can they stay on an industrial action?
Well, maybe because they are not entirely described as essential service. That is the reason why the lackadaisical approach to it. If they were to be in the medical field, like the much people, nobody will sleep. They'll call them to meeting. Maybe because they think that the classroom can wait a bit. But the long-term effect of what we are doing, the consequences are not normally measured. When students are not being taught, or they'll be taught hurriedly, or academic things are, bunched together and speed up, the consequences are that we produce half-measured type of people. And it's very obvious that that's why the level of productivity in our country is very low. That's why our economic is in tatters, because the long-term effect of some of these things will be seen. But let me hasten to say this. I agree with Dominic that the employer ought to have been served long time a notice of this strike. So they should have been proactive in ensuring that these things are tackled and resolved. Indeed, the management team of the various technical universities should have got together and go to the Ministry of both Labor, Finance, and Education, or the tertiary institution, those GTech, to push a resolution of this matter as quickly as possible. It does appear they are getting a bit tired because almost all the tertiary institutions appears to be on strike now. So it appears, well, they are overwhelmed and therefore not. Strangely, Labour Commission is not and cannot do much about this because this is not a new agreement that is being negotiated, and there is a problem with reaching agreement, and they have to step in and either do a facilitation, engage a mediator or an arbitrator. This one, the employer looked at its, resources and voluntarily agreed that I can add ABC to it. And they did. They signed. And they have been paying it.
So why
it's
the
a
break?
reviewable clause.
Yes.
It can be reviewed again.
Yes.
And therefore, if Labour Commission invite them to a meeting, to do what? To tell them, go back to work and remain unconcerned about your money that is due you. They cannot say so.
Yeah, Mr. 𝐴𝐓𝐕,
they cannot say so.
Yeah, Mr. 𝐴𝐓𝐕, I want viewers to know that as a station, we reach out to Labour Commission to be part of this conversation, but we are told that they are in the field and they are occupied, so they couldn't join. And there's a conversation. Viewers, we are still on the state. We are looking at the labor actions, particularly on our tertiary campuses. We've had the chairman of the Accra Technical University, Dominic Ampiao, and then Dominic Ampa, and labor experts or 𝐖𝐓𝐕 helping us in the discussion. We'll take a quick break, and when we are back, we'll look at the way forward, the remedies available so that we avert a longer haul of this particular action, which is having a toll on us. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known.
Don't come here.
don't call me. Ghana for Methodist Asafoma. WTV 𝐴𝐓𝐕 5 years. Hooray! Na enam 𝐴𝐓𝐕 mafidida. WTV ADNT. Or yet don't call me promo. And it says, so we are Ghana ni. Now our business. And adwuma ko bia wo pese obo ho dawura. WTV say, ye ba betwa adwuma ko no. Anaso wadwa ton de no. Ya bo ho dawuro na wotwe mienu 2 weeks at the amount. 1,000 Ghana cedis per awubetua. We eye kwan a WTV efa so e de ada wase say. What time na chi ama dum pempenso a ene waduri. Sa promo ye de no so me kakra e da ya edimu. Ya no nti mo amu wadwuma ko a mo pese mo bo ho dawuro no. Muntutu mirika na momrai. Fred WTV na ni penfo ni nkomo emfa don komi promo yi ho 0593 110733 and now WhatsApp 0256 253461. WTV, reaching out to the world.
Praise God, praise God. Christ in tea, you respond, yeah, at this year. I'm excited to announce to you, friends in the Lord, are you seeking for a platform where you can pray? Ope baby apeso bompai. Now ni nyami edi inkita home. Bibi chire so. Ana manye bi na be sen kum. And you come home. Let's go into the prayer room on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. to meet seasoned ministers of God that God has raised to impact your life. Remember, John Wesley said, I have too much to do, therefore I spend several hours in prayer in able to do it. That is why we are calling upon you. Meet myself, Reverend Hosea Osei, and the Evangelism Mission Renewal Directorate as we lead you into the prayer room where we encounter Christ. And I believe your life will never be the same. Call your friends or loved ones every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. where we will encounter Christ. God bless you. See you on our screens on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. God bless you.
That each and every one of us.
Welcome back. You're still on the state, and this afternoon we are looking at the frequent labor actions. We are interrogating the underlying causes, and then possibly look at the remedies to these actions as we go forward. And we are on the show with the labor expert, Mr. Austin Game, and then the chairman for the Accra Technical University chapter of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, Dominic Ampa. Just before we went on break, we've looked at the law, we looked at the concerns raised by the group, and the effect of this particular strike action. And now we will look at the remedies going forward. How do we address these issues? How do we tackle them as they come? So Dominic, as we go forward, what are the next steps for you?
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. We are saying that if the government pays us, we will come back. Yes. When the government pays us, we will come back. Until it reflects on our pay slip, we are not coming back.
You don't care for the students whose education or the academic calendar is going to affect, and your strike is going to worry them so much that because of them you look at them with human face and come back so that they can learn.
No, you see, they matter to us a lot because they are our colleague Ghanaian, and we are all thinking, or we are all praying that we get the best for this country, the best brain for this country, so that this country can be ruled well. But when you are in a can't adage, I want to say it in two years. You see, a Dijawi, any man, and we are all in the same house. we belong to the same parents. And when they cook the food, at the end of the day, they've served others, they've given it to others. You came and said, no, there's no food. And even what has left is just this one. If you like, eat it. Will you be happy? You will not be happy. Do you see? So we are saying that government should honor his parts. He should provide to us. And at the moment, we have not even, nobody has come forward. So we are still standing where we are. That the government should give us the allowance. It should reflect on our pay slips.
It should reflect on your pay slips. And when that is done,
yes, we will come back.
You come back to us. Mr. 𝐿𝐴𝐵, let me engage you. So going forward, what would you advise, especially the group? What will you say to government, and what words will you give to the people who are concerned and are affected by this action?
Well, I appreciate the challenge they face, and the fact that these are not people who normally go on strike. If you check the history, they hardly go on strike, or might have even not gone before. So it's like a rat that is coming out in the afternoon. They normally don't do that. Something might have been chasing them, and they appear to be tired of it. The way forward for today's employer and tomorrow's employer is for them to appreciate the fact that you have to involve people. These are the only stakeholders that they have. They are the first customers of the employer. And therefore, it is important that the employer give them that due respect and invite them to the table. It is not, they are not practicing, they are not holding government to ransom. If anybody says that anywhere, the person lack knowledge and understanding, they are not, these people are not practicing partisan politics. Many of them there, you will be surprised, are card-bearing members of the ruling government. So it is not about partisan politics. It is the foolhardy on the part of the employer that is creating the problem. And it's just unfortunate that it's a season. But they should also know that the people are becoming a bit concerned. So the way forward, one, is for the employer to invite them to a meeting if they don't have the money to pay, which it is difficult to convince them because you are paying one side of the people in the same establishment, the same technical university. And that is my alma mater also. I am also, I came from that school. So clearly they have to ensure that they consider their plight. It's not so much money in the present circumstance. They should pay them and then go back to work. And then they should rearrange themselves well as an employer. And I think it's a good lesson for tomorrow's employer. I say tomorrow because there will be automatically, whether it is John Mahama, whether it is Alan, whether it is Bawumia, there will be a change of government. So it should be a lesson to all of them so that they prepare and learn this as an experience for them not to come and repeat the same mistakes again.
I wanted to ask on a lighter note, judging from previous and past industrial actions that have taken place, realize that the group declares that today we are embarking on the strike, and then in a day or two they call it off, and then their followers will be our leaders have gone to sit with government and they have collected something. Doesn't happen because you've been part of negotiations. Are there times where leadership is more or less sorted, and then the followers are there? I want on a lighter note so that people don't see the leadership as not doing anything when they go to the negotiation table. Is it possible?
Well, I used to hear that. I grew up from the trade union stock. I was a shop steward. I was an assistant secretary. I was a secretary. I was a chairman. I'm a national worker for a national union as an industrial relations person, moving into HR before going into government and all that.
We seem to have lost Mr. Game. I hope we work the lines and then he joins us. Dominic, just look into the camera. Your final words. Talk to your employer.
What I would say is that I think the government should honor his parts of the agreement as immediate as possible, so that the people can resume work.
So, yes. Government from your employee honor your part of the game, and then the bargain, and then they will call off the strike and get back to work, and the space will be cleared and academic work will progress. So this has been the state. We've been looking at the frequent labor actions, particularly on our university campuses. We've had Austin Game labor expert join us, also Dominic Ampa from the Accra Technical University, a member of the chapter, or the chairman of the chapter of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana. Remember, always remember that the ultimate goal of negotiation is not about winning or losing. It's not about winning or losing, but finding a mutual agreement. So to you, employer, it is not about win or lose. It is about mutually beneficial agreement. Viewers, it is weekend again. Please make sure this weekend you are well rested, and then take rest. Drink a lot of water, as I always advise you. The show is back on Monday. Please make sure that you join us on Monday. My name is 𝐓𝐕 𝐊𝐚𝐬𝐿 Goodbye.